Welcome back to Game 2 from Falcon Park. The Auburn Doubledays taking on the Newark Pilots. Let's take a look at the starting lineups tonight. First for the visitors in the Pilots, as announced by manager Daniel Steve. Leading things off, the center fielder Paulie Goodness batting second. The shortstop Michael Flaherty batting third. The extra hitter Tatsunori Nigishi batting fourth. The first baseman Tim Wagner batting fifth. The right fielder, Michael Kelly, batting sixth. The designated hitter, Gage Boatman, batting seventh. The catcher, Nick Payne, batting eighth. The third baseman, Dom Camara, batting ninth. The second baseman, Briggs Loveland, and batting 10th. Rounding off the order, the left fielder, Tyler Walters. The Doubledays, as announced by manager Ben Julian, looks a little something like this. Leading things off, the shortstop, Carson Gross, batting second. The extra hitter, Fernando Espinal, batting third. The designated hitter, Hazel Martinez, batting fourth. The catcher, Bobby Stang, batting fifth. The left fielder, Garrett Prosper, batting sixth. The right fielder, A.J. Wenrich, batting seventh. The first baseman, Hal Walker Jr., batting eighth. The third baseman, Michael Woolley, batting ninth. The second baseman, Kevin Dolan, and batting 10th, rounding off the order, the center fielder, Emil Sander. Doubledays entering into Game 2 now, a game above 500 at 17-16, 4 games back. Newark enters in at 8-21 and 11 games back of the division lead. Elmira at the moment currently your division leader. The Doubledays, now assuming that Niagara will win, are now currently 2 games back of a playoff spot, possibly even less with the result coming from tonight here inside Falcon Park, and then whatever happens for Elmira going into tonight. Well, Doubledays are just about to take the field and start the national anthems. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. We have Game 2 of our doubleheader tonight between the Doubledays and the Pilots. The Doubledays have taken the field behind Devin McWaters in there. Away Reds at home here, changing uniforms in between ball games. as we'll have a ceremonial first pitch make its way out towards the mound. Maybe that's not a ceremonial first pitch, but a play ball call. Let's take a look at how the Doubledays will line up defensively behind McWaters this afternoon, maybe this evening at a 7:30 plus first pitch. Garrett Prosper in left field, Emil Sander in center, A.J. Wenrich in right, Michael Woolley, Carson Gross on the left side of the infield, Kevin Dolan over at second, Hal Walker Jr. anchoring the infield at first base, and behind the plate, the back end of the battery tonight, Bobby Stang will be doing the catching. McWaters, this will be another start for him this year, his second one, with a 3.29 ERA, 0-1 record, 7 games. This is his second start, 13 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 10 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them have been earned, 6 walks, 18 strikeouts, opponents batting .200 on the dot against Devon this year. Well, he was scheduled to get the start on Saturday and threw a couple of innings, but it only was a rain-delayed ball game that has been postponed. So we don't know if we'll need to be making up that ball game yet or not. On a glorious evening tonight, though, inside Falcon Park, the sun just continues to lay down some beautiful rays across Falcon Park. The shadows a little bit in effect with a little bit of a tree in between home plate and the pitcher's mound. Might be a little tough on hitters this evening for another sun-soaked day of baseball here in the PGCBL. The Doubledays currently entering into this ball game 17-16, finally back to above 500. It's been a little while since we've seen that number be said. As we're going through the scorebook so far, the last time we could confidently say that the Doubledays were back above 500. Well, we have got to go all the way back. Still going back, still going back. Well, not here, we're still going back, and, well, we've been towing the line of 500 for quite a bit. We're still backing up, but it looks like we might have to take a break here. As Devin McWaters up on the mound, facing up against Paulie Goodness. The first pitch of the ball game is a swinging pop-up on the infield. Hal Walker Jr. calls everyone off. He's there to make the catch, and that is the first out of the ball game on the first pitch. Home plate umpire tonight is James Rackley. He was in the field earlier, and Justin Matz will take over the base paths for game 2 of this one. McWaters looks in. Michael Flaherty steps in. The first pitch is a fastball taken down low. Make that a breaking ball for ball 1 ball, and no strikes. Doubledays won game 1 swiftly by a final score of 3-0. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs upstairs and a bit tight. For ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes on the way to Flaherty. Flaherty, a slow start, an 0-for-2 ball game, mixing with a walk back in game 1. The 2-0 for McWaters. Downstairs for a called strike, actually at 90 miles an hour, right at the knees, and now the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Here's the pitch on the way for McWaters. A swung on and miss. Make that strike 3. Bobby Stang up with the baseball. Sends a toss over to first base. Hal Walker Jr. in time. 2 away for Newark here in the top of the first inning. And that will bring up the extra hitter and the pitcher, Tatsunori Negishi. First strikeout of the ball game for McWaters. Brings up 2 away for Negishi. He had his first strikeout in the league yesterday. Make that his last at bat, which was in game 1. The first pitch is a fastball taken on the outside corner for a called strike 1. And the crowd has started to find their seats here inside Falcon Park, a bit more packed out than it was in game 1. The 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss at a 92-mile-an-hour fastball off the outside corner. Negishi's threatening his second strikeout of the summer in back-to-back at-bats. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way for McWaters, a swinging a line drive foul down the third base side off into the parking lot. We'll try it now at 0-2. Well, the sun is just sending a gorgeous lights down across the first base side of Falcon Park into right field. Here comes McWater's 0-2 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive back to the screen, foul again. So we'll try this at 0-2, and oh, there's the hustle from the bat boys that we're used to seeing. Well, we saw him a couple of nights ago back at home, and he was catching everything off the roof of the net. McWater's ready on the 0-2 pitch. Negishi, the batter. The pitch on the way. Swing a tapper over to the first base side. Walker Jr.'s got it. Flipping over to McWater's covering the bag. Make sure he has that toe anchored in. And it's in time to retire the side. McWater's works a clean 1-2-3 first inning. We now go to the bottom half. The Doubledays and the Pilots knotted up at 0-0. Well, the game of baseball sometimes will show its rarities. We have an ambidextrous pitcher on the mound. That's right, it's actually the 3-hitter and the extra hitter tonight. Tatsunori Negishi starting his afternoon, make this his evening as a left-hander. He has the weird glove which actually can flip onto either side of his hand. So he'll throw left-handed and right-handed this one in for the Doubledays. With one switch hitter in the lineup tonight with Carson Gross, the leadoff batter, we could see some very interesting developments over the course of this ball game as Negishi's ready for his warm-up pitches to be done. But let's take a look at how the Pilots will line up defensively behind the switch pitcher going from left to right. Tyler Walters, Paulie Goodness, and Michael Kelly out in the outfield. Dom Camara over at third base, Michael Flaherty at short, Briggs Loveland at second, Tim Wagner at first, and Nick Payne behind the plate will be doing the catching. Carson Gross, the switch hitting shortstop, digs himself into the right-handed batter's box to face Negishi, his more natural side. And for the Doubledays, this will be their first time seeing a left-hander on the mound since yesterday against Niagara. Auburn against left-handers so far, batting .208 against opposite pitching on the left hand. The first pitch is a breaking ball in the outside corner for a called first strike and 0-1. Here's the 0-1 on the way to Carson Gross. Swinging a line drive foul first base side. Look out, everybody. Nobody brought a glove. Luckily, it just hit a metal bleacher down the first baseline beyond the dugout. Got to keep your head on a swivel anytime you're at a baseball game. It's quite apparent that somebody might get hurt because this game can certainly deliver some hard contact. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody out here as we begin the bottom half of the first inning. The left-hander looks in, gets his sign. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball bounced in the dirt for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Beautiful, beautiful evening for baseball. 79 degrees at first pitch back in game 1. It's starting to get a little bit chillier. No humidity in the air. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a tapper down the third base side, foul, and Benji Reese off the railing trying to make a play on the baseball comes up empty. He's going to get a little chuckle from the bench about that. 73 degrees now at first pitch of game number 2. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way to Nagashi. Baseball makes this down low for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count now. Sun still continues to flow across the first base side onto the outfield. The 2-2 pitch to Gross is swinging a line drive over to second base. Up with the backhand is Loveland. A low throw up the line, but it's in time to Tim Wagner. One away, and that will bring up Fernando Espinal. Here's the first pitch on the way to Espinal. Swung on and missed. A good fastball on the inside corner. Swinging strike 0-1. No, Negishi isn't going to light up the radar gun by any means, only throwing just 79 miles an hour with his fastball. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Fastball taking down low for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Sometimes the velocity, especially when it comes to slowing the game down, might be a little bit more beneficial. Here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on a line drive, softly hit into center field, and it dunks in for a base hit. Espinal takes the short turn around first base, but he's finally on the hit column after walking almost every at-bat. One away with a runner on. That brings up Hazel Martinez. Martinez looking for his first at-bat here against the switch pitcher Negishi. Healthy lead off the bag at first base by Espinal. The first pitch is a fastball bounced in for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Auburn has certainly found their rhythm with the top of the order. You know, Carson Gross has not exactly been a big contributor over the course of the last couple of ball games. The Doubledays have certainly been able to work something out as a fastball jams. Martinez might have busted his bat on him and pop out to the first baseman, Wagner. And we'll see if he tries to crack that bat on the dugout steps. 2 away, and that brings up Bobby Stang. Now that bat's all but shattered now as Martinez is trying to finish the job off. There it is. Slams it right into the wall of the dugout. So that bat is up and destroyed. It's turned to firewood. 2 away. That brings up Bobby Stang. First pitch on the way. Bounces in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher Payne. Moving up into scoring position is Fernando Espinal. So speed is aboard at second base with 2 away. And Bobby Stang has another opportunity to drive in a run. He's already gotten 3 this afternoon so far. 3 in game 1. He was the main component in game 1. An RBI double, an RBI single, and an RBI single mixed in with his first stolen base of the season. Healthy lead off second by Espinal. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way to Bobby. Swinging a ground ball foul down the third baseline. Fielded by Ben Julian nicely in the third base coach's box. Flip around to the other side. Logan Matson takes over the first base coaching box. He does the assistant duties for the Doubledays this summer. Steve LaRose, the pitching coach, now on the bench right now. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Bobby. Swinging a line drive. That one's hit a little bit more firmer, so Julian will let that one go off to the fence line down the third baseline. Benji Reese off to recover the baseball. Ball and 2 strikes here with 2 away. Nothing game here in the bottom half of the first inning. Espinal, healthy lead off the bag at second. The 1-2 pitch to Bobby. Breaking ball does not snap back over the plate. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Healthy crowd on hand. We talked about it's Little League Day at the ballpark. See plenty of youngsters in their Little League jerseys or any other jerseys they got on. Espinal off the bag well at second. The 2-2 pitch on the way to Bobby. Swung on a high fly ball. Deep down the line in left field. Looking back is Walters. He turns his numbers and it's gone. Bobby Stang having himself an evening to remember. It's a 2-run Johnson here in the bottom half of the first inning. It's off the left-hander Tatsunori Negishi. It's a 2-run blast, and the Doubledays have the 2-0 lead early on. Well, this is just a breaking ball right over the heart of the plate. Bobby Stang just watches this one all the way onto the barrel. Clubs it out to left field. Walter is only a spectator watching it fly over the tall wall and left. Doubledays on the board quickly here in the bottom half of the first inning. That brings up Garrett Prosper here to hit now. Lefty-lefty, the first pitch. Fastball runs a bit tight down the inside corner for ball 1. Well, it's just been a great afternoon for Bobby Stang. What can we say? The 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball misses downstairs for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. That's Bobby's third home run inside Falcon Park this year. The 2-0. Swinging a line drive off the end of the bat, sinking in, but Walters is there to make the catch and retire the side. But Bobby Stang hits home run number 4 on the year. And he also gets RBIs number 31 and 32. We now go to the top of the second inning. Doubledays have the lead 2-0. Bobby Stang hits his third home run of the year. RBIs 31 and 32. On the 2-run shot in the bottom half of the first inning, Devin McWaters now goes out with a lead. He'll be facing Tim Wagner, Michael Kelly, and Gage Boatman. 4, 5, and 6 due up in order against the hard-throwing right-hander from Charleston Southern. So we're seeing a good amount of the South being represented tonight. The first pitch on the way, a fastball is taken for a called strike 1 on Tim Wagner. 0-1 the count. Infield spread out thin and playing a little more shallow. The 0-1. Fastball taken at the knees, maybe just a little low for ball 1-1 ball and 1 strike. Home plate umpire James Rackley does the same thing every time. A ball or a strike, he takes 2 steps back. You have to wait for the gun. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive, looping into right field. Moving over is A.J. Wenrich. He's got his eyes shaded from the sun. He's there to make the catch for out number 1. 4 retired so far in order for McWaters, and that will bring up Michael Kelly. Kelly's getting the start in right field tonight for Newark in game 2. Gives Vans a lot of the second game off. First pitch from McWaters is a fastball that spiked in front of the plate at 58 feet. 1 ball and no strikes. The count here with 1 away. Top of the second inning. Right-hander peers in, gets his sign from Bobby. He sets up away. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball. That one's taken on the inside corner at 91 for a called strike. Well, if you're the starter in game 2, you certainly have plenty of time to warm up, and McWaters just been moving around all day. 1-1 pitch is sent on the ground over to second base. Kevin Dolan, the local kid, has got it. Tosses it over to Walker, and it's in time to retire Michael Kelly, who didn't even bother dropping the bat. 2 away, and that brings up Gage Boatman. Bowman getting the DHing role tonight. McWaters looking for clean second inning after a very, very tidy top of the first. Sam Huff also had a really nice first 2 innings of work here. Back in game 1, the Doubledays victorious 3-0. Here's the pitch on the way. Fastball taken right over the heart of the plate for a called first strike. 0-1. The right-hander looks in, gets his sign. Bobby sets up off the plate away. The 0-1 pitch is a fastball popped up and in play. Bobby off of the mask, running out of room as the ball hits the top of the netting. And he's going to wave off the bat boy. Never mind, he lets the bat boy take it into himself. Out of all the bat boys this year, we don't know who that quite is, but he's been on top of everything this year. This is the second or third game we've seen him out here getting the duties tonight here in game 2, and he's been all over the place. Quick 0-2 count to Gage Boatman. McWater's looking for his second strikeout of the ball game. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shadow still in effect here in front of the mound, making it a little tougher for hitters to deal with. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball over to shortstop. Gross has got it in the hole, sends a throw across the diamond, and it's in time to retire the side. 6 retired in order so far for McWaters. We now go to the bottom of the second inning. The Doubledays have a 2-0 lead. Tatsunori Negishi all done after 1 inning. Gives up the 2-run home run to Bobby Stang. He's responsible for those 2 runs as well. New pitcher Brantley Griggs takes over on the mound. A 1.35 ERA, 1-0 this year. That one win came against the Doubledays back here at home. 13 1/3 innings pitched. He's going to have 10 hits, 9 runs, 2 of those were earned. Walked 12, struck out 14. Opponents batting .233 against the right-hander. Doubledays will send up 6, 7, and 8. A.J. Wenrich, Hal Walker Jr., and Michael Woolley in order against the right-hander. Delivers the first pitch on the way to Wenrich is a breaking ball taken inside for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Bobby's home run back in the bottom of the first inning was the first home run hit against a left-handed pitcher this year. Here's the 1-0 on the way. Breaking ball snaps in the inside for a called strike 1, and the count evens up at 1-1. It's 50-50 raffle time. A couple of the Booster Club members making their way around the main concourse. The 1-1 pitch is taken for a called strike. Another hanging breaking ball over the middle of the plate for a called strike 2. Griggs looks in, gets his sign. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball sent down the third baseline foul. We'll try it again at a ball and 2 strikes. Jake Danieluk and Michael Sills, starting pitcher and your closer. The men in charge of the 50-50 tonight, making their way around, meeting and greeting the people. The 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on a high drive down the left field line, but this will end up into the bullpen foul. Still making the catches, Tyler Walters down the line, played it off the carom of the roof of the Doubledays clubhouse. That has been certainly getting peppered in the course of this season. Healthy crowd making their voices heard. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way to Wenrich. Breaking ball taken on the outside corner for strike 3. Wenrich saw only breaking balls his first at bat of the afternoon of the evening. To make that one away, that'll bring up Hal Walker Jr. Now for Wenrich, there's been a lot of strikeouts looking this year. It's been a tough season for him so far. Does have some moments, especially on Sunday afternoon. First pitch to Walker Jr. is a breaking ball taken for a called first strike, 0-1. One away, the pitch. Taken for a called strike 2 on the outside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. Hal quickly in the hole. Right-hander looks in. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Infield spread up the middle with Michael Flaherty playing deep in the 6 hole. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball outside for ball 2, and the count evens up at 2-2. Hal choked up on the bat, moved up on the box. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball in the dirt for ball 3, 3-2. Not a ton of time in between innings for both of these ball clubs. Enough time to get a snack and get ready to go for game 2. The 3-2 pitch is swung on and fouled off over the netting. So perfect sunny Wednesday evening here inside Falcon Park. It's another glorious day of baseball. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball misses inside for ball 4. So Hal Walker Jr. takes off the elbow guard and makes his way down the first base line. It's a 1-out base runner, and that brings up Michael Woolley. Woolley back-to-back starts here in the doubleheader, both of them at third base tonight. Hal aboard at first base with 1 away after the going down early 0-2 has worked a walk. The first pitch on the way to Woolley, swung on, popped up, shallow. Right field, Michael Kelly moving in. He can't make the catch, it drops. Hal Walker Jr. in a foot race to second base, slides in safely. It's a bleeding base hit for Michael Woolley down the right field line. Puts runners at first and second with 1 away. And here comes Kevin Dolan. Looks like Hal is getting some grief from his third base coach, Ben Julian. He didn't see the baseball land until just a little too late, but had plenty of time to make it into second base. The ball really does bounce off this turf quite heavily. It is the same turf, in fact, that is used at the Rogers Center in Toronto. Here's the first pitch on the way to Dolan. He swung on another bleeder. Right field, down the line, shallow. Michael Kelly this time has plenty of room to make the catch for out number 2. Carbon copy swings by Woolley and Dolan. 2 away, and that brings up Emil Sander. Well, Emil has been prone to dropping the bunt down and trying to sneak on first base to get any sort of infield single. Certainly is in effect here with Dom Camera, the third baseman, playing back and not even with the bag. Sure is likely that Emil has taken a peek down the line. The first pitch on the way, breaking ball taken for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. James Rackley again is fooling me plenty of times tonight, taking a couple of steps back and putting the gun in the holster. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive up the middle and through for a base hit. Making the turn at third is Walker. Here's the throw in. It's going to go all the way through, and it's not in time. Hal Walker Jr. scores from second base. It's an RBI single by Emil Sander, and the Doubledays have another one on the board. It's now 3-0 here in the bottom half of the second. That brings the top of the order back up, and Carson Gross will now switch hit from the left-hand side. Well, Emil Sanders just been seeing the baseball so well, and this is a breaking ball over the heart of the plate from Griggs. He's let that curveball leak plenty of time so far this evening. First pitch is a breaking ball taken upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes to Carson. 0 for 1 day so far. Ground out to the second baseman his first time up. Woolley and Sander, first and second, 2 away. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Carson. A fastball misses downstairs for ball 2, 2-0. Good speed aboard with Woolley. He can run pretty well, and then Emil Sander, probably the second or third fastest Doubleday on the roster. Carson can send anything into the gap or down the line. 2 runs could score. The 2-0, breaking ball taken on the corner inside for a called strike at 2-1. Oh, and this crowd is certainly excited for some Doubledays offense, especially against this Newark team. Here comes a 2-1 pitch on the way to Carson. Fastball runs right into the right calf of Gross, and he'll make his way down the first base in just a little bit of pain That's his 4th hit by a pitch this season. Runners now have the bases loaded with 2 away for Fernando Espinal. Espinal with a base hit back in the 1st inning. Later came around to score on the 2-run home run by Bobby Stang. 3 runs in already here in this one. Doubledays with 4 hits on the board as well. Fernando hailing from the borough of Brooklyn, down in the city. Make his way down to North Carolina in the fall for Lenore-Rhine, Powerhouse Division II. Here's the first pitch on the way. Fastball runs inside, but taken for a called first strike on the corner. Espinal not too pleased with the first called strike for him. Nothing won the count. Briggs now in a bit of trouble here in the 2nd inning, looking to escape. The 0-1 pitch on the way to Espinal. A breaking ball taken on the outside corner for a called strike 2. Shadows now completely engulfed the mound and home plate, making it just a little bit easier for the batters to see. Left field still playing with shadows. Center field, right field, 1st and 2nd base are still in the sunshine. Tough for right fielders trying to deal with this sun setting down the 3rd base side. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Espinal. A fastball pulled off the corner. The catcher, Nick Payne, thought about sending a snap throw to first base. Carson gets back to the bag safely. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Doubledays with a 3-0 lead early on. Griggs looks in, now comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball swung on in a line drive into left field for a base hit. In to score is Woolley. Following him, rounding 3rd is Sander. The throw is not in time. It's a 2-run single by Fernando Espinal, and the Doubledays add 2 more. It's now 5-0. Well, just how about this ball game being played for Auburn? They are certainly finding their groove here against Newark. This is a team that the Doubledays have been having trouble with this year. But after another 2-run single, that brings up Hazel Martinez with runners on 1st and 2nd. Here's the pitch to Hazel. Fastball misses outside and upstairs for ball 1. Just good offensive production for the Doubledays in the course of these last 2 games. The month of July has just not been the Auburn's hitting month. They really racked up the numbers in June. Couple looks over at Gross at 2nd, the 1-0. Breaking ball taken inside, the throw to first base, and it is not in time. Espinal stands up back to first base safely. Close play over at the bag at first. Tim Wagner, the first baseman, sneaking in the back foot. A lot of action warming up in the Niagara bullpen. A couple of pitchers have started to stretch and toss. 2 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch to Martinez. A breaking ball that catches the outside edge for a called strike, 2-1. Well, it's a new bat for Hazel after he broke the last one and then finished the job off in the dugout. He's probably found a kid to hand it off to anyhow. Look at 2nd. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Martinez. Swung on a line drive. Right field, that's going to do some damage. It hits off the warning track. In to score is Gross from 2nd. Espinal flying around 3rd. The throw goes into 2nd base. Now the relay to the plate. It's not in time. Hazel Martinez delivers a 2-run double off the base of the wall in right field. Doing a little stanky leg at 2nd base. Adds 2 more. Doubledays have a 7-0 lead in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. How about this? And here comes Daniel Steve out to the mound. I think he's had enough of Griggs as he slowly makes his way up to the mound. Bobby Stang is the batter due up next. I'll just have to see if this is it. He's telling the whole infield itself to calm down. But that should have been a throw to the plate. Hazel Martinez hitting a line drive deep down the right field line. It one-hops the Dunkin' Donuts board. Espinal was taking his time rounding 2nd base, heading to 3rd. Wasn't really taking his time, but was getting into this 3rd from 4th gear. Hit the bag at 3rd base. The throw finally came into the cutoff man. They were trying to get Martinez out at 2nd base. The throw could have gone home. You could have possibly had a more bang-bang play at the plate. But Bobby Stang now with a chance here with a runner at second base and 2 outs. It is a 5-run bottom half of the second inning. A 7-0 ball game up to this point. Here's the first pitch on the way to Bobby Stang. Fastball runs inside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Bobby has made himself a household name here in Auburn. It is a 5 RBI night so far. The 1-0 pitch, breaking ball taken on the outside corner for a called first strike. It's 1-1. Martinez aboard at second base, inching off the bag. Loveland works over, tries to hold him off. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Bobby, swinging a line drive back to the screen, foul. It's now 1-2. Oh, look how bad boy almost tripped over the baseball trying to beat the manager for Newark. Ended up stepping onto the ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. Martinez inching off the bag at second. The pitch, fastball, make that a breaking ball taken upstairs for ball 2. 2-2, and wow, they're still trying to feed Bobby breaking balls after he deposited the last one into the trees. It's still knocking around some acorns. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Looking over at second base, Martinez off with a lead. Here's the 2-2 to Bobby. Swinging a jam shot foul over our heads, out of play. Oh, this crowd has certainly gotten their price of admission so far with the home run from Bobby earlier in the ball game. 5-run second inning, as a lot of offense has come here in game 2. It was a tough game 1, winning only 3-0. The right-hander looks in, the 2-2 pitch to Bobby. Fastball runs up high for ball 3. Now the count runs full at 3-2. So far for Bobby, every single home run has been here inside Falcon Park. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken over. Never mind. Wow. Wow, okay. I thought that was strike 3. The home plate umpire, James Rackley, was just about to take a step and give him the cash register, but instead must have missed inside or upstairs for ball 4, and that will do it for Brantley Griggs. His night is done. Cannot get through the second inning. We'll go to the bullpen. Here we are, bottom of the second. Doubledays leading 7-0. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Pete Johnson takes over in relief, the left-hander for Brantley Griggs, who cannot get through the bottom half of the second inning. Throws 2/3 of an innings pitched. He's given up a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Has walked 2, struck out none. He's responsible for Hazel Martinez at second base and Bobby Stang over at first base. So 5 runs already in and 2 ducks on the pond for Garrett Prosper in a lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way. Swung on a high fly ball. deep down the right field line. Hooking it, stay fair. It's off the top of the wall. Prosper now having a motor around. The throw goes into Martinez. He's in the score. Bobby Stang now glides across home plate. He's in the score. Garrett Prosper stands up at first base on his longest single of the year. And he's going to get some grief for that, as he thought he hit a 3-run tater. Instead, 2 runs in to score on the double, so it's now 7 runs into the bottom half of the second inning. It's a 9-0 Doubledays lead. Logan Madsen won't even take the gear from Garrett as he still stays at first base. Here's the first pitch on the way to A.J. Wenrich. Swinging a line drive foul down the third base line out of play. The Doubledays have now batted around as Garrett Prosper, everybody else in the ballpark thought he hit his second home run of the year. It ends up hitting halfway up the Swifties Tavern sign and right. The 0-1 pitch on the way, swinging a high fly ball deep down the left field line. If it's fair, it's long gone. This ball is just foul. It hooks at the last moment. Oh my goodness, we have almost seen it all here inside Falcon Park here in the bottom half of the second inning. We almost have had our 3rd home run of the inning. Goodness me, this game is continuing to show its teeth. We need to update the score yet. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way to Wenrich. A breaking ball off the plate away for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's right, Auburn has batted around. This is the 11th guy back to the plate. Wenrich started this inning off with a strikeout looking. Here comes the 1-2 pitch on the way, swinging a high fly ball into left center field. It's going to split the alley and drop in for a base hit. Prosper getting the wave around. He's headed for third. He's getting the wave around for home. The throw goes into the cutoff man, and it is not in time. A.J. Wenrich delivers an RBI double. It's 10-0 in the bottom of the second inning. It's an 8-run second. How about this? That is double number 7 on the season for Wenrich. I'll bring up Hal Walker Jr., who walked earlier in the inning. We need to see how long this inning has taken altogether. This has been one brutal bottom of the second inning for the Newark pitching staff. The first pitch to Walker Jr. swung and fouled back to the screen. Walker trying to ambush a first pitch breaking ball over the heart of the plate. Well, the inning started by Brantley Griggs getting the first strikeout, and then a walk, base hit, pop out to Dolan, 2 away, and then seems like all the ties have been untied. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way to Walker. Breaking ball misses outside for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. So we had the Bobby Stang home run in the first inning. Garrett Prosper hit his halfway up the wall in right. Hazel Martinez also hit his ball to the warning track, and Wenrich just poked it into the left center field gap. The 1-1 pitch to Walker bounces in for ball 2. Good stop by Payne, keeping Wenrich aboard at second base. Well, now the question is, when is the run rule in a 7-inning ball game? If it's a 9-run game, we do 10 after 7. But is there a run rule limit for a 7-inning affair? That's the only question to ask. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way to Walker. Breaking ball down low for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike, and Hal's 1 pitch away from make that a 2-2 count, excuse us. The left-hander looks in, gets his sign. Wenrich off the bag at second. Here's the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs in tight for ball 3, and now it's a full count at 3-2. Walker has already walked in his second inning at bat. He came in to score on the RBI single by Emil Sander. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Wenrich off the bag at second. The full count pitch comes home, swinging a line drive right field. That drops in for a base hit. Wenrich gets the wave around. He's in to score. The throw's in the cutoff man. Walker Jr. with a base hit to right field. Mitchell Kelly bobbles the base. Michael Kelly bobbles the baseball in right field. Another run comes in to score. It's RBI number 2 on the season for Walker Jr. And that brings up Michael Woolley back up again. This inning continues for the Doubledays. It's now 11-0 Doubledays. First pitch to Woolley. Swinging a pop-up on the infield. Off of the mask is Payne. He's running out of room, and it one ends up off the roof of the shelf of the netting. 8:15 local time. The first pitch of this ball game was at 7:32 on the dot. Well, that's changed a little bit here. We might not be out as early as we thought we could be. The left-hander looks in. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Woolley. Swinging a roasting shot down the left field line, heading off to the bullpen. Huxley Holcomb was there to make the catch in the bullpen, pitching for the Doubledays. He could be coming in with McWaters having a very, very, very long break. We're still not even out of the first 2 innings. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive looper into left field. That's going to find some grass for a base hit. Moving up to second base is Hal Walker Jr. He's at second base, and that will bring up Kevin Dolan. Dolan, one of the 2 batters in this Doubledays lineup, yet to join the hit parade. Popped out to right field his first time up. The left-hander delivers the first pitch to Dolan, a breaking ball outside and up for ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. Kevin had a very nice week last week in the exhibition game against the Syracuse Saltcats. Got himself a couple of knocks, including an RBI. Here comes the 1-0. Swinging a line drive foul, first base side out of play. Now the crowd is more engaged in the baseball. Someone makes a catch. Yeah, someone did make a catch down the line. Nice job. See, the game's more fun when you pay attention, isn't it? 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. 9 runs in. 11-0 our total. Couple looks at second. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Dolan. Fastball taken off the black for a called ball, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. 2 away. 2 runners on. Couple looks over. The 2-1 to Dolan. Breaking ball misses upstairs for ball 3, 3-1. And it's about to get to a point where we might just have to scrap the scorebook entirely, running out of space here. Well, that's why they give us 15 innings on it. The left-hander looks in, delivers the 3-1 pitch on the way to Dolan. Outside for ball 4, and the bases are once again loaded. This time for Emil Sander. He delivered an RBI single back in the first inning. Kidding. That was back in the second inning. That was right. That's how long ago this ball game has been. And now time is called as Daniel Steve is back out for another trip. And, well, it looks like he might pull the plug on Pete Joslin. Has yet to go to the finger yet to point to the bullpen. And he always looking, and yep, we'll have another left-hander. So we'll be back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Another left-hander comes sprinting in. This is a 9-run bottom of the second inning in an 11-0 ball game. Newark looking to find their way just to get out of this one. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the second inning. It is a 9-run second inning that leads to a Doubledays 11-0 lead. The first pitch on the way to Emil Sander is swung on and fouled back to the screen. 0-1 the count. Brantley Griggs got this inning started. He only lasted 2/3 of an inning. Handed the ball off to Pete Johnson to get that first step, to get that final out, and well, he couldn't record an out either. And the Doubledays now have him loaded with 2 away here to Emil Sander. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way, taken in the dirt for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike, evens up the count. Just good grief. Strikeout, walk, base hit, pop 9, RBI single, hit by a pitch, 2-run single, 2-run double, but base on balls, 2-run single, RBI single, base hit. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, taken down low for ball 2, 2-1. Also a walk to Dolan, so now we're at here. For Sander, he got an RBI single back at the beginning of the bottom of the second. The 2-1 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive down the left field line. It's going to tuck into the corner. Hal Walker Jr. scores again. Here comes Michael Woolley. He scores again. Kevin Dolan gets the stop sign, and he's retreating back to the bag. He dives in safely. Emil Sander, a 2-run double. Goodness me, pull the plug. It's 13-0 now in the bottom half of the second inning. And this game just continues to show us why this game can be quite frustrating or quite amazing all at the same time. Back to the top of the order again. Carson Gross was hit by a pitch maybe a half hour ago. The left-hander looks in, the first pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball through the left side of a base hit. Here comes Dolan to score. Here's Emil Sander flying around. The throw cannot get cut off. It gets away from the catcher, Nick Payne. Moving up to second base is Carson Gross. He's in standing. Goodness me, 2 more runs come in to score. I think it's now a 15-run bottom half of the second inning. Or is it a 13-run bottom half of this? It's a 13, it is. We get confirmation. It's a 13-run bottom of the second inning. 15-0 our score. And just like that now, only one Doubleday left who has not recorded a hit. Here's the first pitch to Fernando Espinal, a fastball taken inside for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Fernando had a 2-run single earlier in the inning. He also had a base hit back in the first. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs off the plate outside for ball 2, 2-0. I don't even think we even mentioned who's now on the mound. Frank Vanzolato, he got the start in right field in game 1. Now trying to find any sort of out here in the second. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Taken downstairs in the dirt. Check swing. Does he go around? No, he does not for ball 2, 2-1. Oh, man, where's the Tylenol, folks? We've been talking forever. Maybe some water even, just something to keep us going. I don't know if Devin McWaters will even come back out for the bottom half, maybe the top of the third inning. He's been sitting for a long, long time. I don't even remember what time this inning started at. 8:25 local time here inside Falcon Park. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive back to the screen foul. Home plate umpire sends a rocket back to Vanzolato on the mound. He's trying to get this one continued. I still don't know what the run rule's like, but 15 after 2 innings seems pretty abrupt. Carson, very big lead off second base. The 2-2. Swing, line drive, looping down the line, foul into the Newark bullpen. Someone makes a catch in the bullpen, so he gets a little cheer of applause from his mates down the line. Home plate umpire gets a new bundle of baseballs from the Doubledays bat boy. Camera's almost dying here in the bottom half of the second inning. Usually those things last about 5 or 6 innings. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. The left-hander Vanzolato looks in. Here comes the 2-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball taken for a called third strike on the outside corner. And this inning miraculously comes to an end. The Doubledays bat around and then some. We now go to the top of the third inning. It's after a 13-run affair. It's now the Doubledays leading 15-0. Well, hopefully everyone's enjoying their evening so far. After a 13-run top bottom of the second inning, the Doubledays have a 15-0 lead. Devin McWaters out for another inning of work. The first pitch is a fastball in tight, ball one to Nick Payne, who still is looking for his first at-bat of the game. Some of our Doubledays have already had 3 at-bats today. The 1-0 pitch on the way, swinging a high fly ball deep down the left field line. Prosper in retreat. He's looking up, and that ball is gone. Oh, there's 1 run back out of 15. It's a first solo shot of the season for Nick Payne. He'll take the slow trot around. It's now a 14-run lead for the Doubledays. 15-1 our score. Well, it's a fastball that McWaters tries to beat him on the inside corner, but Payne just keeps the hands inside tucked nicely and still powers it out to left field down the line. So it looks like we're going to get confirmation on if there is a run rule. Here's the first pitch on the way, swinging a line drive into right center field, tailing away from Emil Sander. But he's there in retreat in right center field. He makes the catch for out number 1 on Dom camera. One away, that brings up Briggs Loveland. Well, we were hearing from the booth, rumor has it that this is not even the highest scoring ball game in the last couple of years here inside Falcon Park, as McWaters delivers the first pitch. Is a fastball upstairs for ball 1 to Loveland. Well, apparently in the first inning, Cayuga College put up 21 runs in the bottom half of the first. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 1. Make that ball 2. Well, we have learned now that there is a run rule in effect, 12 runs after 5 innings. Well, we're in that category right now of the 14-run lead. Here's the 2-0 pitch, taken down low for ball 3. 3-0 the count. I did not even realize that we could put up 13 in an inning. Didn't know you can almost bat around twice. Here comes the 3-0 pitch on the way. Fastball runs up and away for ball 4. So a home run, a fly out, and now a walk. That brings up Tyler Walters, the left fielder. Just insanity how this game has progressed. After the first game ended in a 3-0 Doubledays win, you're thinking that 2 runs in the first inning, all right, you get the run started early. First pitch to Walters. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 1, 1-0. But then you drop 13 in the second, and oh boy, everything starts to roll down the hill. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a jam shot, shallow right center field, backing in off the infield dirt. The throw to second base is not in time. Hustling into second is Briggs Loveland after Kevin Dolan had to field a baseball just beyond the first base bag on the cut of the grass. Cut of the turf. It's all turf. And runners at first and second regardless, 1 away. That'll bring up Paulie Goodness. 0 for 1, he popped out to McWaters back in the first. Runners at first and second here with 1 away. Couple looks over at second. The first pitch is a fastball inside, and Bobby Stang can't handle a fastball inside. Off the tip of the glove, rolls away, but not far enough for either Loveland or Walters to move up. First time through the order for Devin McWaters. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Swinging a line drive center field. Emil Sander comes in and it sinks in for a base hit. Now the Pilots have him low to play at second base. Is not in time. Well, Tyler Walters took his time getting to second base, and now they have loaded him up. And Ben Julian quickly out of the dugout, making his way to the mound. Auburn has a couple of arms ready to go in the bullpen. They had Huxley Holcomb warming up, and it might have been just for a bullpen session. It looks like Luke Lee has started to throw. But looks like Julian's just going to go out and slow everything down for McWaters after a very lengthy time to rest in the bottom of the second inning. It was a quick conversation with Bobby Stang making his way back to the plate, and he's got a smile on his face, so something was certainly muttered in the mound meeting. One away here. That brings up Michael Flaherty. McWaters struck him out for his first out, or make that his first strikeout of the ball game back in the top of the first. That feels like so long ago. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. A good slider. Maybe even a curveball at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. And it is Luke Lee, who is ready to go in the bullpen. We'll pause. Here's the 0-1. Fastball taken down below. Maybe no. Actually, it is a called strike at the knees for a called strike, too. And just getting a little confused by the home plate umpire. Takes 2 steps back every time. This time pulls the trigger. McWaters ready. Here comes the 0-2 pitch on the way. Fastball runs upstairs and high at a high of 92. It's the hardest we've seen McWaters throw inside Falcon Park here so far this season. Walker Jr. playing in front of the runner at first base. Michael Woolley playing even with the bag. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Breaking ball. Check swing. Does he go around? Yes, he does, says the field umpire. Michael Flaherty rung up from the field umpire, who has some parting words before making his way back out to the dugout. Some palms up. Second strikeout for Flaherty. Second strikeout of the ball game for McWaters, and that brings up Tatsunori Negishi. He's the one who started this ball game for Newark. The first pitch, swinging a pop-up. On the infield, Woolley gives it a look, but it's going to head off to the bullpen, make that to the dugout, and end up into the stands for a foul ball. No balls and a strike, 2 away. Runners at every bag. Loveland at third, Walters at second, Paulie Goodness at first. Here's the 0-1 pitch on the way, taken down low for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So 12 runs after 5 innings, is the run rule. Well, let's just keep it right here at a 14-run lead. The right-hander looks in. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Fastball bounces in for ball 2, 2-1. Well, this isn't the highest scoring game for the Doubledays so far this year. They put up 18 runs against Elmira back on the opening weekend. 15's the second most so far. Swung a high fly ball, belted. Deep right center field. Going back is Wenrich. He's running out of room. He can't make the catch. It's going to one hop to the wall. 1 runs in to score in Loveland. Here's Walters cruising across to score his Goodness. The throw gets cut off at third. It's a bases clearing 3-run triple. 3 runs coming to score. It's now a 4-15 ball game after 4 runs come in here in the top of the third. So this one's not exactly over quite yet. Here's the pitch on the way from McWaters. Take in for a called strike on the outside corner to Tim Wagner. Well, Newark can always be a little sneaky on their comebacks. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a tapper foul down the third base side. Auburn just needs to continue to put the pedal to the metal and drive this thing all the way to the very end. Now time is called as Negishi needs to retie his shoes down the third base side. Auburn, a couple of right-handers ready to go in the bullpen. This could be it for McWaters after his long break and then having to go back out and try and keep this ball game where it's at. Here's the 0-2 pitch, swinging a line drive foul off to the right side. Was a home run, fly out, walk, base hit, strikeout, and then the 3-run triple. 15-4 our score. Here comes the right-handers. 0-2 pitch on the way home. Swinging a line drive. Oh, what a play by Woolley. Sliding stop, high throw, and it's in time at first base to Hal Walker Jr. Michael Woolley puts a star on top to end the top of the third inning. We now go to the bottom of the third inning. The Doubledays leading 15-4. Picking things up here in the bottom half of the third inning, the Doubledays and the Pilots in a tight 15-4 ball game as we play to the bottom of the third inning. James Musso has grabbed a bat. He's going to pinch hit for Hazel Martinez. So the designated hitter, his night is done. The first pitch on the way is a fastball taken for a called strike, 0-1. It's like James Mason is starting to make his way back to the clubhouse. Looks like he could be grabbing a bat and a glove. He could also be getting an at-bat in this one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Musso. Fastball taken upstairs for ball one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Off to Lemoyne College, and freshman going into his sophomore year. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball runs outside off the plate for ball 2, 2-1. 8:39 local time here inside Auburn. This game has not gone by quick at all. The 2-1. Swinging a foul back to the screen. It's now tied up at 2-2. Oh, that bat boy's just putting on a show, isn't he? He's always running around making sliding catches on balls off the netting. It's like BJ Banyan has grabbed a bat and pinch hit as well. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Musso comes up empty on a fastball outside. Second strikeout for Vanzalato, 1 away, and that will bring up Bobby Stang. Yeah, Bobby's had himself a pretty good game as well. A 2-run home run in the first inning and then a walk. Here's the first pitch on the way. Swinging a pop-up into right center field, tailing away from Michael Kelly. He's there to wait for this thing to come on down. He's there to make the catch for 2 away. Now we'll bring up what is to be Garrett Prosper. Now BJ Banyan getting the pinch hit job here. So it looks like Banyan will head off to left field in between innings. Here's the first pitch to him. Breaking ball taken on the inside corner for a called first strike, 0-1. Yeah, this is so far one of the more chaotic games of the year. The 0-1 pitch is swung on in, fouled for a swing and strike 2. Auburn will be back here tomorrow against the Finger Lake Falcons, a non-league game, non-competitive. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Banyan. Fastball spiked in the dirt for ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes. This will be our last inning with this camera, as now time is called as Julian's going to have a quick conversation down the line, and well, looks like we might actually have to replace that camera right here and right now, so hold on a quick second. We'll be quickly with this as fast as possible. No ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the bottom half of the third inning. The pitch on the way to Banyan. Swinging a ground ball, base hit right up the middle. So Banyan's aboard at first base on a sharply stroked single up the box. 2 away, and that will bring up A.J. Wenrich. I'll talk about poor timing indeed, having to change the camera on a dead battery, and then very next pitch delivers a base hit up the middle. Just tough timing all around. Wenrich with a double his last time up. The first pitch is a breaking ball taken outside for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to the Doubledays center fielder. Banyan, healthy lead off first base, has excellent speed. Here's the 1-0. Swinging a ground ball, sent foul and right through the wickets of Ben Julian, and he is certainly going to hear it now. Yep, all the fans down the third base line are giving the manager for the Doubledays some grief. He's made almost every other play this evening, so it's not been a bad day at all down the third base line. Here's the 1-1 pitch, never mind. A throw over to first base, back in standing is Banyan. AJ a strikeout and then a 2-run double. Make it an RBI double. Pitch, breaking ball, taken outside for ball 2, 2-1. This is only a 7-inning game, but it's feeling like a full 9 after that 13-inning second. Here's the 2-1. Taken outside, a snap throw back to first base, and ooh. Ooh, that could have been close as Banyan just gets back into the bag safely. Looks like Tim Wagner got the tag on Banyan's arm just before he got to the bag, at least from here. Field umpire makes the call safely at first. It's now 3-1 to Wenrich. Here's the pitch on the way to AJ. Taking upstairs for ball 4, so a base hit and a walk. That'll bring up Hal Walker Jr. with 2 away and a runner in scoring position. First and second, 2 away in a 11-run ball game. The first pitch. Swinging a fly ball down the right field line, slicing away from Kelly. Into the corner, it slices foul. Down towards the bullpen, Walker didn't even drop the bat. Just stayed in the box. He knew it was going foul from the whole moment on. Oh yeah, a lot of kids have also started to make their way, lining up down the first base line, anxiously waiting for the run around the bases. Tell you, games here at Falcon Park just age absolutely beautiful. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Walker, swinging a tapper down the third. Up with the ball camera, the throw to first base is dug out. And in time to Tim Wagner to retire the side. The Doubledays aren't able to work anything here. A shutout bottom of the third. We now go to the top of the fourth. It's 15-4 our score. Well, new pitcher to tell you about. Luke Lee takes over on the mound for the Doubledays. James Mason takes over at third base for Michael Woolley. And B.J. Banyan out in left field for Garrett Prosper. As the Doubledays have a healthy lead to work with, it's 15-14 our score here in the top half of the fourth inning. Well, time to start telling a little stories to get through this one. Just where to begin is the question. We'll start actually a couple of days ago. The Doubledays had a day off, so went over towards the Apartments, had a great night. Then the next day, took the trip down to Cooperstown to see the Hall of Fame for the first time. First pitch from Luke Lee is taken for a called strike on the outside corner to Michael Kelly, 0-1. First time taking the walks down the hall. The 0-1 pitch is swung on a line drive right to Emil Sander in center. He's there to make the catch. There's a 1 away. I'll bring up Gage Boatman. But for someone growing up on the West Coast their entire life, it's tough to make the call to go all the way out east towards Cooperstown. I got the job back in November. The first thing I could think about going to and seeing was the Baseball Hall of Fame. Seen it all the time, seen it in movies, especially in the League of Their Own, the scene at the beginning and then the scene at towards the end of the movie. This gets you hard every time. First pitch taken for a called strike on the outside corner to Gage Boatman. But just seeing just history enshrined, seeing everything that you saw as a kid on TV, and now seeing those memorabilia. The 0-1 pitch misses down low for ball one, 1 strike. But it's just such an amazing feeling walking through those halls for the first time. You enter the museum under the iconic structure and the lettering. The 1-1 pitch on the way, taken outside for ball two. But just everything about that place just is absolutely magical. From the moment you just about to arrive into the city of Cooperstown, you can start to feel the tingles go through your fingertips. The 2-1 pitch is swung and fouled back to the screen. Count evens up at 2-2. Well, it's just an absolute gorgeous day down in Cooperstown. Got there a little bit later towards the end of the late afternoon. Got there around 3 o'clock-ish. Hopped into the museum around 3:15. The 2-2 pitch on the way, swinging a ground ball, topped over to Carson Gross. He's got it, sends a throw across the diamond, and it's in time. 2 away. They'll bring up Nick Payne, who hit the solo shot back in the top of the third. One of the moments, though, that really got to me was seeing the bat that Evan Longoria hit. The game 162 home run that sent the Tampa Bay Rays into the playoffs. The first pitch on the way, taken for a called strike on the outside corner. We'll get into that story a little bit later on in the ballgame. We still have plenty of time to talk. All the other memorabilia as well. The 0-1 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive back to the screen, foul. It's now 0-2. But one of the best days in baseball, 2011, game 162. Day that cemented a lot of legacies in the game of baseball today. Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way, swinging a line drive over to the third base. James Mason has it, sends a high throw. Oh boy, that's well over the target and off into the little retaining wall down the line. Moving up to second is Nick Payne to continue. At the top of the fourth inning, James Mason sent a moon rocket over towards Hal Walker Jr. So the inning continues after the throwing error. Puts a runner in scoring position for Dom Camera. We saw the David Freese jersey that he hit on that late October night to continue the World Series for the St. Louis Cardinals against the Texas Rangers. It's a game-tying 2-run triple to keep that ball game intact as a slider misses outside for ball one. You see everything. You saw a couple of jerseys from Tony Gwynn. You saw World Series baseball from 1994 that never happened to the player strike. The 1-0. Taken inside off the corner for ball two, 2-0. Saw the Felix Hernandez jersey from his perfect game. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball deep in the left field. Banyan, though, is right there to make the catch, and the side is retired. One error is left stranded at second base. We now go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Doubledays still leading right now, 15-4. Dylan Kelly takes over on the mound for Newark. It is a 15-4 Doubledays lead. Well, let's continue our little talk that we were having back in the top half of the fourth inning. Just the feeling of walking through the halls of Cooperstown for the first time and just seeing everything from baseball history, from the first inception, the first type of baseball to be played around up here in the New England, the Northeast. Absolute just mind-blowing walking around the halls and seeing the memorabilia like we were talking about. So a little bit more about that Evan Longoria bat that we were mentioning, as James Mason will lead things off here in the bottom of the fourth. Back in 2011, it came down to the final game of the season. Make that Jack Gannon actually on the mound instead for Dylan Kelly. But anyways, in 2011, the Tampa Bay Rays were at some point trailing 9 games back in the wild card to the Boston Red Sox. And then in the National League, the other side, the St. Louis Cardinals were trailing a very similar fate to the Atlanta Braves. And that was back when all the teams didn't play at the same exact time. So some games on the East Coast was getting started before games on the West Coast. The first pitch on the way to James Mason is an E-fist taken for a called ball upstairs. 51 miles an hour indeed. But anyhow, that game between the Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees was going back and forth, back and forth. The 1-0 pitch misses outside for ball one. One ball, make that ball two. 2 balls and no strikes. But in that game for Tampa, they needed a win, and the New York Yankees just jumped out to an early lead. Mark Teixeira hit a 2-run and a 3-run home run. 2-0 pitch misses outside for ball 3. 3-0. But it was a tough start for the Rays. Down 7-0 early on. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Mason. Upstairs for ball 4. It's a leadoff walk. I'll bring up Kevin Dolan. But on the other side, the Cardinals were playing the Houston Astros, waiting for the Braves game to get going in Atlanta against the Philadelphia Phillies. Very same fate to the American League. Both ball clubs looking for a win on game 162 to get him into the playoffs. Dolan's first pitch he sees loops it into shallow right field, and it's going to drop in for a base hit and kick away from Michael Kelly. It's a base hit for Kevin Dolan, and just like that, every Doubleday starter has tacked on a hit in this ball game. I'll bring up Emil Sander. Anyhow, in 2011, the Baltimore Orioles were playing the Boston Red Sox in Baltimore. Boston was able to keep a short 1-run lead, and then a lengthy rain delay late in the game. First pitch to Sanders, and he fists upstairs for ball 1. But it was in that 2011 night. The rain delay ultimately allowed Tampa to find their fire and inch their way back into a ball game. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. Continuing on, though, it was Doubledays going back and forth. Make that the Tampa Bay Rays were finding ways to keep themselves in the game. A wild pitch sends runners across the second and third now with still nobody out for Sander. But in that ball game, Evan Longoria not only hit a 3-run home run to cut the lead from 7-3 to 7-6. Back in Baltimore, the Orioles were mounting a little bit of a comeback as well against the Red Sox. 2-1. Slowest pitch we've seen of the season at 41. Upstairs for ball 3, and the top of the order would come up next. But with that game going back and forth, Baltimore was somehow able to match and take a win from the Red Sox, putting all the pressure on the Rays as Emil Sander will take ball 4 and head down to first base. Bases are loaded for Carson Gross. Now time is called as that brings up Daniel Steve again. And this is just a conversation between the pitcher and the manager. But in that ball game, back in Tampa Bay, the Doubledays, or the Tampa Bay, oh my goodness, this is a long one. I can't believe we're still going through this game. But back in Tampa Bay, though, the Rays were able to make it a one-run ball game. And then it was announced that the rain delay would continue on in Baltimore, so the Red Sox and the Orioles were left stranded with a short-timed game. It was a one-run ball game at the point of the rain delay. The Rays mounted their comeback, and then first pitch is taken down, low ball one to Carson Gross. It was Dan Johnson got the pinch hit call for... Got the pinch hit call in the bottom of the ninth inning with 2 outs. The 1-0 pitch in the dirt for ball 2, 2-0. Sent a fly ball down the right field line, and it hit the very tippy top of the foul pole. That got the Rays to a 7-7 ball game. Extra innings of baseball went and came, and then it was time for Evan Longoria to set Major League history. The 2-0, taken outside for ball 3, 3-0. But then back in Baltimore, though, the Orioles mounted a comeback and got themselves a 4-3 win. As soon as that was announced, the cowbells started ringing inside Tampa Bay. The 3-0 pitch to Carson Gross upstairs for ball 4. It's an RBI walk. It's now a 16-4 ball game. I'll bring up Fernando Espinal with the bases loaded. That's right. It was announced on the scoreboards that the Baltimore Orioles beat the Red Sox. So if the Rays lost, all that meant is a one-game playoff in Boston between the Rays and the Red Sox to decide who was going to be that wild card winner. The first pitch to Espinal. Swung on and missed. A big hat comes up empty, 0-1. But Evan Longoria with his home run down the line put the game on top, and the Rays made their way into the postseason, and now time is called as the little floater hits the shoulder of Fernando Espinal. 17-14 now our score. I'll bring up James Musso. Well, to continue with what happened in Tampa Bay, Evan Longoria comes up, hits a line drive that just sneaks over the short wall down the left field line and ends up winning the ball game, so the Rays on to make a little bit of a playoff run. But why that's significant here, the first pitch on the way to Musso is outside for ball 1. I remember coming home from school. I was about 11 years old, turned 11 in the late summer. It's now fall. And my mom comes up to me and says that there's one of the most exciting games in baseball tonight. The 1-0 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner to even up the count at 1-1. But from that moment on, I don't even think I did a single page of homework. We were just sitting in front of the TV, watching ESPN, watching MLB Network. The 1-1 pitch is taken upstairs for ball 2, 2-1. Eyes glued to the television the entire evening. One game after another after another. Nothing in the major leagues was set at that point for the playoffs. The 2-1. In the dirt, bounces away. Emil Sander holds up. Everyone will stay put with a 17-14 lead. It's now 3-1 the count. But regardless, though, at that point in time, Major League Baseball had yet to have a conclusion to their playoffs. No one in the division had themselves a matchup. No one in the wild cards was guaranteed. It was the first time in Major League history that you went down to game 162 and not a single playoff scenario was set. Here's the 3-1 pitch on the way, taken for a called strike at the knees. It's now 3-2, full count to James Musso. But man, what a fun evening that was, just flipping through the channels, ESPN, MLB Network, all the way through to see the final, and became a lifelong Evan Longoria fan after that. 3-2 pitch on the way, swing and a miss on the outside corner. Musso retired on the strikeout, and that will bring up Bobby Stang. Bobby Stang already having a day to remember. Home run and a fly out here. It was a 2-run home run back in the bottom half of the first inning. But seeing that bat for the first time since that moment. First pitch downstairs for ball 1. Gave me chills the moment I saw it because I knew exactly what that bat was and the memory behind it. Here comes the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball taken upstairs for ball 2. And then the whole rest of that 2011 playoffs it's got to be my favorite playoffs I've ever seen. Back in my short time watching baseball, the 2-0. Wow, what is this? A little flip of an E-fist. That doesn't even make it to home plate, let alone doesn't even make it to the strike zone. Ball 3-0 to Bobby Stang. And at some point, we might have someone from the crowd maybe take over public address and the broadcast. Here's the 3-0. Taken for ball 4. So Bobby Stang will toss the bat and slowly make his way over to first base, and we're just going to give up on the scorebook actually as a whole. That'll be it for Jack Gannon. We'll have a new pitcher coming in from the bullpen coming up next here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Actually, I think we'll just stick it around here. We'll just continue to talk some baseball. Might as well. Let's take a look at the scoreboard throughout the rest of the league. Have some music playing in the background as well. Why not? Yeah, let's take a look at the rest of the league here on this Wednesday night here in the PGCBL. Elmira and Niagara. Ooh, that's an important one. 4-4 in a tie ball game into the 10th inning. Man, that really could be a factor going forward. Elmira currently at the league leaders, and Niagara currently in 4th place behind Jamestown in that 4th playoff spot. The Doubledays are looking to get that. The rest of the West, Jamestown 5-2 over Batavia. Well, and that's actually it for the West. How about that? Very short schedule for the West tonight. Oh, it's also very nice to see when your family sends you photos from T-Mobile Park back home, and they're enjoying a beautiful Wednesday night at the ballpark. Chris Ferrara, another position player pitching. This time we'll face against B.J. Banyan. Bases are still loaded here. In the bottom of the 4th, the first pitch just swung on and missed. Banyan was trying to go for it all. Comes up empty. Oh, it's just talk about some nice days of baseball here. Another E-fist comes in upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. But when we're talking about baseball in the playoffs, that 2011 World Series had everyone on the edge of their seat the entire time. 1-1 pitch misses upstairs for ball 2. David Freese hitting that iconic triple down the right field line, and then a couple of innings later, we'll see you tomorrow night. He hit the game winner to center. 2-1 misses down low for ball 3, 3-1. Just waiting for this game to be over. Here's the 3-1. Swinging a fly ball to right field. Michael Kelly over to make the catch. Carson Gross will send a bluff tag. The throw goes in all the way to the plate on a hop. 2 away. That brings up A.J. Wenrich. Other big postseason moments, you can just go through the list. Man, there's so many you could take a look at it and just talk about it on and on. 2001 World Series out here from the booth, but we might not have enough time. Pop up on the infield. Wenrich sends it right at the chute. The shortstop, Michael Flaherty, falls all the way down to the seat of his pants to make the catch, and the side is retired. Well, last hopes for Newark as he coming off the mound. Chris Ferrara gets a standing ovation from the Doubledays faithful. This will be it here in the top half of the 5th inning. The Doubledays leading, I think it's 18-4. It is 18-4. We'll be right back here on the Doubledays Baseball Network. Picking things up, and hopefully what is to be the final inning in this one. Luke Lee back out for another inning of work. He'll have Briggs Loveland, Tyler Walters, and Paulie Goodness in an 18-14 ball game. The Doubledays have matched their season-high total of runs tonight. Here's the first pitch on the way from Luke Lee. A fastball runs inside tight for ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, let's talk a little bit about that 2001 World Series. It was actually a really good one now that we bring it up. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Wow. Loveland spins like a top on his front foot. It comes up empty. Count evens up at 1-1. But that 2001 World Series, well, the Diamondbacks were the underdogs going in against the powerhouse New York Yankees. The 1-1 pitch is taken on the inside corner for a called strike 2. Well, that game went all the way to 7 innings. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swinging a fly ball into shallow right field. Out is Kevin Dolan. He gets called up by Wenrich. He's there to make the catch, 1 away. For that 2001 World Series, what a lot of fun that was to kind of go back and rewatch. Seeing it every once in a while. But back into Game 7, Randy Johnson was pitching in Game 6. Shut out baseball. Blew out the Yankees as Tyler Walters steps in. First pitch he sees, fastball taken on the corner for, off the corner, never mind, for ball 1. But we talk about how great of a playoffs that was for both the Diamondbacks and the Yankees. They came into the World Series back and forth all the way, taking down low for makes that a strike, never mind, on the corner on the knees. But what you did have was one of the best World Series ever played. Randy Johnson coming out of the bullpen in Game 7. 1-1 pitch is sent foul out of play over our heads. But in Game 7 of the World Series, started by Curt Schilling. He threw quite well and then handed off the ball to Randy Johnson. The 1-2 pitch outside for ball 2. Johnson threw bullets, trying to keep the Diamondbacks in the game. Ended up giving up a run. So it was a 1-run lead. 2-2 pitch taken outside for ball 3, 3-2. It's either a 2-run lead or a 1-run lead. Don't know at the top of our heads. But in the bottom of the 9th inning, the Diamondbacks were able to rally up against Mariano Rivera as a high fly ball down the right field line, slicing away from Renrich, running out of room. Off the retaining wall, down the line, foul. We'll try it at 2-2 again. But it was a great inning by the Doubledays in the bottom of the 9th inning to find their way back into the game, and capped off by Tommy Walmack hitting a 2-run single. So it was a 2-run lead, actually. That was, talk about a bunt, too, that maybe could have been a double play with a throw to third base, and maybe across the diamond could have ended it earlier. 2-2 pitches jammed into shallow left field. B.J. Banyan there to make the catch and retire the side. Craig Counsell, the current manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, went out to go play it for the Diamondbacks in that 2001 World Series. As now we're doing a mound meeting just so we can get the 50-50 raffle name in. So just buying time so the fans can find their way to get 50% of the pot in tonight's game. But anyhow, back to the 2001 World Series. Counsell got hit by a pitch on a cutter inside. It loaded the bases for Luis Gonzalez, the home run derby winner back in Seattle in 2001. Came up to bat against Mariano Rivera with an infield controversially drawn in. It was Don Zimmer who mentioned to Jim Torrey to pull the infield in. Said Luis Gonzalez got a cutter on his hands and shot it over Derek Jeter's head into shallow left center field. That won the Diamondbacks' first World Series. The first pitch on the way is swung on and missed for a swing and strike 1. Luke Lee looking to end this one right here, right now. The 0-1 pitch on the way, taken off the plate away for ball 1, 1 ball, 1 strike. Here comes the 1-1. Taken on the outside corner for a called strike 2, and now the Doubledays are 1 strike away from finally putting this one away. 2 games above 500, the record would be an 18-16. The 1-2 pitch is taken for a called third strike on the outside corner. And just like that, the ball game miraculously comes to an end. 18-4, your final score. The Doubledays walk away victorious. It's a doubleheader sweep. Oh, that clubhouse is going to be popping at the conclusion here once they get back into the clubhouse. Your final score tonight, the Doubledays walk away 18-4. They now finish 18-16 so far on the year with a couple more games left. The playoffs are looking a little more likely to happen. For Trevor Curl, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next time on the Doubledays Baseball Network tomorrow against the Finger Lakes Falcons in an exhibition 7-inning game. So long, everybody, and we will see you next time. Doubledays victorious. It is a doubleheader sweep on the evening against the Newark Pilots.